welcome to the very first edition of the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek.
My name is Nick.
Fake Nick P on Twitter, at Athletic Geek _89. Follow us on Twitter. The link to our Facebook page is in the description. And this is the first in what will hopefully become a weekly set of wrestling recap, a wrestling recap YouTube show, if you will. And what's going to make us a little bit different than these other ones is we know that we're not insiders. Like the name says, we're just two marks. We're just two fans of wrestling that love wrestling, love to talk about wrestling, love to talk about wrestling with other fans. And we're going to try to avoid things like using insider terms. We'll slip up every now and again, but the fact of the matter is, we're not...
Very casually, my family, my girlfriend, everyone that watches wrestling, just whatever, you know. And they look at it from a different angle, and that's the kind of way I try to watch wrestling, as just a fan and not someone that spent the last 11 years on message boards, you know, since I was 14 years old, just looking up rumors and crap, you know.
Well, and while rumors are certainly fun, I still also I like to look at wrestling that way personally. Maybe not necessarily from the perspective of just a casual fan, but just because it makes me appreciate what goes into wrestling more. Before I got like that, I would look at a undercard match and just think like, oh, why should I care about this? Mm-hmm. But now I look at an undercard match and go, that guy's good. You know, I know why to care about him. I see that he is good at something, and then it becomes more rewarding down the road if said guy on the undercard can make it to the top. And we'll use that as a segue to the biggest news of the week. I'm wearing this shirt for a reason. Yes, Daniel Bryan has been cleared to return by WWE doctors, and he made that announcement to open up SmackDown Live this week, and
then kind of did return later in the night.
Pretty much, but I think it's pretty heavily implied that old D-Bry is going to be part of WrestleMania.
It seemed that way. I wouldn't know. I mean, if he can wrestle and he gets beat up by two guys, he's probably going to want to wrestle those two guys.
Right. It's pretty obvious, I feel, that he's going to be inserted into the storyline with... Because he's been in that storyline as a non-wrestler
for the last... He's been part of that storyline.
He's just going to be inserted into the match.
Yeah.
And you could argue... And I hear a lot of fans say that, you know, why are they wasting a Daniel Bryan comeback on just a throwaway tag match? But the bottom line is this storyline has been building since September.
Hell in a Cell? Yeah, when was Hell in a Cell?
September, October, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're basically going to get the real payoff of this. Now, whether or not I agree with how that whole storyline has gone, I don't really feel that Shane McMahon, while being positioned as the good guy in the whole storyline, I don't feel, just from the outside looking in, that he seems like a good guy. Granted, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are assholes.
Mm-hmm.
But...
yeah, it is the weird reverse Stone Cold thing. He's doing the same stuff to him that Vince did to Stone Cold, but people like it because they're jerks, basically. But yeah, I mean, it's had moments of dragging, but I have to at least, I'm happy that it's been that long of a build. You know? It's on, which we'll talk about later, the WrestleMania card. Like, that's got to be the longest, you know, story that they've done. Is this one with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon and whatever.
And
and Kevin Owens.
I mean, there's so many people saying like, well, why isn't he wrestling The Miz? Why, you know, we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever I first heard that Daniel Bryan had been cleared, I mean, I was excited because, you know, Daniel Bryan is, other than Shawn Michaels and probably right alongside The Rock, is my favorite wrestler of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But to continue off that, my first thought was, is Daniel Bryan going to be okay? Because And again, we're divulging a little deeper now, but with the fact that he was injured, with everything we're hearing now about concussion, CTE, etc., I would much rather have a Daniel Bryan that just, is alive than a Daniel Bryan who comes back one night, hurts himself, and then he's, can't play with kids anymore.
But he's said openly, publicly in interviews and stuff that he was going to wrestle.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not, even if that's the case, and I really don't think that he would have been cleared if he's not good.
Right. I mean, it's just kind of the whole, is he much worse off as one mess up of a move, is one botch, is one diving, I mean, probably not going to do diving head, but it's like one suicide dive going to just screw everything up for Daniel Bryan. That's my big concern.
Yeah.
As far as that. But that concern also leads into, hey, right now he's in a tag match. That's what he needs right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you yourself's going to WrestleMania. The fans are going to cheer when he just gets that tag.
Yeah.
It's not going to... He doesn't have to, at least in this match, for there to be a big moment for him. He doesn't have to go in there and put on the matches like he had in Ring of Honor, like he had with Cena, with Triple H, etc. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to do any of that. He just has to go in there. He has to... I'm sure there'll be a big build. I might be wrong. They'll build up to him getting tagged in. He'll be tagged in. It'll be probably the biggest explosion of the night.
Yeah.
And he'll throw some kicks. We'll get some yes, and then some yes chants, and some...
Hopefully he wins.
Yeah, hopefully. And then from there we can find out, okay, how they're going to use Daniel Bryan. Is he going to be... Basically, is he going to be like Kurt Angle, where he's still the GM and he'll wrestle from time to time? Or will he be an active wrestler again? Will they find a way to do the storyline where he gives up being the GM? We don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm happy. I mean, now the world is open up because he can wrestle AJ in the WWE. I mean, he's had some great matches with AJ in Ring of Honor, but now he can wrestle him in the WWE. Mm-hmm. He can wrestle Nakamura. He can... All these... all these indie darlings who, we've seen in Ring of Honor him have great matches. Well, now he can have that on the big stage. Rollins, Ambrose, Owens, Zayn, all these guys. He can have the quality of matches that we know he's capable of having with those individuals. And then Shinsuke Nakamura, Kurt Angle, Finn Balor, all these people he's never wrestled before.
There's so many good matchups for him right now, better than any other.
Adam, go NXT. I believe Adam Cole was not in Ring of Honor by the time Daniel Bryan's there. Same thing with all those guys. Cien Almas and Daniel Bryan. He has wrestled Gargano on the Independents, but that was.
Was that when he came back?
I think it was It was right before he. I might be mistaken. I believe it was in AIW. Right before it got signed, he was doing he's cleaning up his last independent.
That wasn't
days.
The same Gargano either. Though.
Oh no,
he was good then. But...
Yeah, but it wasn't after he made himself an indie superstar and then made himself a WWE superstar at TakeOver with that match with Cien Almas. Mm-hmm. So there's so many more things that could happen with Daniel Bryan now. Hopefully, he just remains safe. Hopefully, they can use him in a way where they don't burn him out. Which I don't think they would. He would be burn out the fans, but where maybe they should keep him as okay, Daniel Bryan's wrestling. This is something special, kind of similar to how they did when Shawn Michaels returned back in 2002. Shawn Michaels didn't wrestle every Raw.
Yeah.
He didn't even wrestle every pay-per-view. But when you got a Shawn Michaels match, it was special.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I can't think of a more liked and respected and popular wrestler of the last 10 years, besides outside of maybe CM Punk for a while there, and you have him back. At the same time, maybe you should just build your show back around him.
It's all going to depend on his health, how much he can go, how hard he can go. I would, you maybe won't meet a bigger Daniel Bryan Mark fan, whatever you want, than me. I mean, I literally, when he got bumped off the card at WrestleMania 27, left the WrestleMania party at his house because I just basically went, "Fuck this. That's bullshit. I'm not gonna waste. I'm not gonna waste 3 hours watching this." WrestleMania 28 was ruined for me whenever his one WrestleMania moment was meant to basically destroy him, and due to his talent and perseverance, he came up, but you. Nobody. I mean, I'm not trying to say it's a stand of arrogance. I'm sure there's other big Daniel Bryan fans out there, maybe bigger than me. But there may not be a bigger Daniel Bryan fan than me, and I would not complain about the show being built around him again. I would, if he immediately goes into a feud with AJ and becomes the champion, or Nakamura and becomes the champion, or both, or whatever. That's A-okay with me. I am not going to complain about that. The flip side of it is, for health reasons, for, even though he is good to go, maybe he does need to limit it. Maybe he does need to become, I don't want to say a novelty, but maybe a part-timer. Not to wrestle every week. Maybe fall into like a...
if he's cleared, though. Like, they're not gonna...
I'm saying it's like a protective measure.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm assuming he's probably not gonna, do some of the same stuff that he had done. So... I don't know. It'll be interesting how they do it. I think that their best bet is to go ahead and just put him back where he was before he got hurt the first time, which was I'm not feuding with Kane, but which was the top guy.
Going off on a little bit of a tangent, a mutual friend of ours who's also been a contributor to my Facebook page, JC. You can go like his artwork page at the Deluxe Asterix on Facebook. He mentioned to me, and he's gonna try and find it and send it to me, and if I'll share it on the Facebook page if he does. Kane running for mayor. There's someone made like a fake political attack ad with all like the things that Kane did on WWE programming like throughout the 20 plus years he's been on TV, and he says if he can find it, like I'll definitely share it. But that sounds like something just hilarious because I've gone back and watched some of the Kane Undertaker stuff, and that is just some crazy, crazy stuff that happened in wrestling. Where, well, that's another debate for another day. But that's our news on Daniel Bryan. The other big news coming out of wrestling this week that I feel was we finally got Woken Matt, as it is known in the WWE, in his full glory this week on Raw in the main event where he took on Bray Wyatt in the Ultimate Deletion!
Yeah, that was something that I didn't think we would ever see on Monday Night Raw,
no.
Let alone the main event.
Yeah. I thought it was really well done. I thought that WWE did this justice, the whole woken universe, whatever you want to call it. I feel like they did it justice, and that was kind of the big question mark. Going into, since you saw their re-debut last year when you were at WrestleMania, is like, okay, how are they going to handle this new Matt Hardy? The Matt Hardy that became the, biggest thing in wrestling. The Matt Hardy that, pretty much kept TNA, like TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it, kept it relevant.
Yeah. Made it relevant again, actually.
Yeah, because it wasn't relevant until this whole thing. And then it became the most talked about thing. Yeah. Maybe besides the Bullet, and even that's before Omega and Okada, so it was even bigger than the Bullet Club at that point.
But it was always the question: was this gonna feel like Vince McMahon presents the Ultimate Deletion? And it wasn't at all. It felt like Matt Hardy's baby, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that, and they went all out. Like I was skeptical. I'm always very skeptical of the WWE. But I was skeptical of this from the onset, and then I saw the video where I still had, I became cautiously optimistic when they put the video and it was Matt. He's, here, they had Rebby there and he said, and here's King Maxwell and, here's, Vanguard 1 is here and here is the compound and and they were using all the terms that were in the TNA version.
Yeah, which I guess I never really found out about how that got settled, but I guess it did. Yeah. I mean,
it's there.
Yeah, so, but I think it's a very strange piece of television as a whole. Like, I was sitting there watching it, and I was thinking, like, at what point would you show this to somebody, introducing them into wrestling? Like, because if I was not a fan, I was flipping through television, I would think it was awesome because it's like, it's just weird as shit. Like, it's just this real. It looks like a weird exploitation movies from the 70s that you just like, I don't know what's going on. So to me, that appeals to me, but I don't know how many people that appeals to. But at the same time, I think that the world, the way it is now, and how I've talked about this before, how how pop culture is, and how there's all these different subgenres of things that are super popular because of the internet. Maybe that is something that has its own little niche in the wrestling world.
I don't think wrestling should just become like.
No, it's not going to replace.
No. But
Johnny Gargano versus Cien Almas.
Right.
I would rather watch that than the Ultimate Deletion.
Yeah, it's a nice change of pace, I guess you should say. And the WWE did it very well. There's rumor and innuendo that Vince McMahon was not a fan and thought it was going to fail. That's just rumor and innuendo and speculation. But I think they did very well with it. The big question I have coming out of that is what happens to Bray Wyatt now? I mean, they haven't handled Bray Wyatt well in damn near 4 years. I mean, yes, he won the title, which was cool because as a
that
fan,
storyline leading into it, I know a lot of people did not, but I liked Randy Orton. I wish Randy Orton was still a member of the Wyatt family, and he just stayed and grew out a big beard. And right to this day.
I didn't like it because to me it felt like they wasted the Royal Rumble with that whole storyline.
Yeah.
Because it was like he gives it up. No, he doesn't. And it's just like, well, then why'd we have the damn Royal Rumble? You know what I mean? I couple that with the fact that to me it felt the match itself was underwhelming.
None of the matches coming out of it were great, but I did enjoy the build-up. And
I'm firmly of the opinion that unless everybody's hurt, Randy Orton shouldn't be anywhere near the world title. What Randy Orton is doing with the U.S. title is to me what Randy Orton needs to be doing. I'm over Randy Orton. The last time I felt that Randy Orton should have been anywhere near the World Championship was WrestleMania 30 because he fit that role really well, where you needed a WWE type guy versus a non-WWE type guy. You needed one guy to be like the guy for the storyline authority, and one guy to go against it, and Randy Orton fit that role well. That time it worked, and using that to get to WrestleMania, I'm A-okay with something like that. Now I feel like his time has passed. I don't really feel like, and it's just my personal opinion, I don't really feel like he's very interesting anymore.
I think he's also, I think this is a very popular opinion, but he's a way better bad guy.
Oh, absolutely.
What he's doing right now.
Absolutely. He
That's part of why that worked, because he was like a, I don't know, that storyline reminded me of like the bad guy in Terminator 2, where he's just like this very well-built guy that's sent to do this mission to kill Daniel Bryan, basically.
Right. But the reason I feel it worked is because it felt real. Because a year later or 2 years later, they tried to redo the same thing with Roman Reigns, and it did not feel real.
Yeah.
Because they were saying, well, Roman Reigns isn't the guy we want, and it's like, well, we know Roman Reigns is really the guy you want.
Yeah.
Whereas whenever you heard Triple H and Stephanie saying Daniel Bryan isn't the man we want, you believed it.
Yeah.
Because you'd see along the way, like, they did that, and you could see, it felt like they weren't doing a storyline. Felt like Triple H actually given
the same
real
reason
opinion.
that Andrew Garfield wasn't the best Spider-Man, because he was too handsome. Roman Reigns is too handsome to be an underdog. he's too well built. He's not Daniel Bryan. But that's super tangential to the Ultimate
Right.
Deletion. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
That is what people like us do. We just go on a bunch of tangents, and that's what that's what these are going to be about. So it's going to be.
But I do think, as much as I enjoyed that match, I just can't get over how weird it is. But
Yeah.
I think that I did not really like the build up to the storyline. It was pretty poorly done. I don't really like. They didn't give him a good reason to crack and become woke, and he just lost a random match, and then he lost another random match, and then he lost another random match. Like, I don't. They didn't even build it up like a big losing streak or anything. He just lost the match and then just sat in the corner and did this. And I was like happy because he did that, but I was just like,
You almost hit me with your deletes there. I mean, I kind of sold it a little earlier. I'm using one of those terms. I kind of like, oh no, a little late there, but.
But that's I was disappointed in that, and I think that had it been put together better, that it would have. I mean, I don't know how much payoff you can really get from something like that because it's so outside of.
But what back to the thing that really started the big tangent. What happens with Bray Wyatt now? I mean, does he go into the Lake of Reincarnation and come out more of a monster? It would have been awful. Don't get me wrong. Like in retrospect, I'd go like, God, that would have been detrimental to Bray Wyatt's career. But I still would have laughed if he would have popped out of there as Husky Harris.
Yeah.
The Lake of Reincarnation is Husky Harris. Like, I would have laughed, but then I also went, oh, God, this is bad for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what they'll do with him. I kind of just assumed that he would just come back as Bray Wyatt, just normal. Like, he always...
I mean, is he going to be more... Is he going to come back as Sister Abigail? I mean...
Is he going to come back with part of his hair dyed blonde? And woken himself?
Ooh, is he going to come back... as a completely new character? I don't know. But maybe this is what Bray Wyatt... I mean, it kind of sucks for him if he's going to miss WrestleMania, because it's always bad. It's bad when someone has to legit miss WrestleMania due to injury, but like if you're just being written off TV until like we got nothing for it at WrestleMania, that's even more shitty.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I get, hey, not everybody's going to get to be on the card. Not everybody has a storyline for WrestleMania. I get that. That's just kind of just shitty. It's like, yeah, we're just going to write you off, and then the one time a year where you can make ungodly money, you're not getting it.
I assume that they will be... Maybe that's I think that would be cool if Bray helps Matt win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and they, I don't know, joins the family somehow. A reverse Wyatt family.
Reverse. Yeah.
But... speaking of WrestleMania, the most hyped match in the history of WrestleMania for me personally.
Yes.
Not in, really. But
yeah. We weren't around for Hogan and Andre, so
AJ
and I wasn't even a year old for Hogan and the Warrior. So
for me personally, as a fan, have not been more excited about a WrestleMania match since AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
And hopefully we get good news, because there is reports that AJ Styles is rehabbing a knee injury, and Triple H has gone on record saying if the doctors don't clear AJ, they've got Plan B in mind. Mm-hmm. That would be terrible.
Yeah, it would be very sad.
I would, if I find out that AJ Styles, at my job, I'm gonna try and get the paid day off, because I work Sundays. I'm going to try and get the day paid off for WrestleMania. If I find out that AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura isn't happening at WrestleMania, I won't try and get the day paid off. Not so much because I don't want to watch WrestleMania. I'll still watch WrestleMania, but I won't have that urgency of I want to get paid off, or I want to try and take a half day and come home early and watch it. I will just go... oh, you know what? I'll get to it. I'll get home that night and I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll get home at 11 p.m. that night and I'll get it.
But the build to the actual match, I've liked. Just neither one of them are super jerks or super.
But
nice.
you kind of see, Shinsuke's a little bit more of a jerk about things. Shinsuke's kind of more, because he's not gonna get cheered more than AJ. So instead of making him a complete bad guy, why not just basically be like, okay, AJ's a little bit more likable.
Someone's got to be a little bit more of a jerk, and no matter what match it is, you can't have just the hug the whole time otherwise. But I think that I like the way that Shinsuke's talking, because that's my main complaint since he's come to the main roster, is that he talks too much. Because, I mean, he got what chance in, like, his third week or whatever, because, like, you actually kind of can't understand him. Which, I don't care, but I understand that, a casual fan, and that's something I've run into when I watch with the kids at work and stuff, and I tell them, like, oh, yeah, this guy's really good. Like, wait till you see him. And then he comes out and speaks in broken English and has, like, an okay match. And they're like, yeah, I don't care.
Well,
so, like... And it upsets me because I know how good he is, and I've seen, everyone has seen how good he is, and this match is going to be amazing. But I like this one where he just, like, says a sentence or two, I'm going to beat you because I'm going to knee you in the face. That's what he needs to be. That's what he should have been doing this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
He should have pretty much only said, knee you in the face, and knee people in the face and beat them. Like, I wish... We're not going to go back and talk about everything that's been wrong, but since the Royal Rumble... he's floundered a little bit, but it's been a lot better in presentation, in my opinion.
Well, and privately we've discussed this before, and I mean this with all due respect to Shinsuke Nakamura. I am a Shinsuke Nakamura fan. I've been a Shinsuke Nakamura fan for a while. But I believe that Shinsuke Nakamura, as great as he isn't great on the level of he can have a good wrestling match with anybody. He still needs the right opponent. Now, granted, that doesn't mean necessarily he has to be in the ring with an AJ Styles, or he has to be in the ring with...
He had that good match with Cena.
Yeah.
Which
most
people do at this point.
Yeah, while John Cena personally isn't my cup of tea, I in a big match, the man can go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he just has to be in the ring with good wrestlers that have good matches with everybody, but certain wrestlers, he
has a style.
He's not going to have chemistry. He's similar to like what the original Sin Cara. The original Sin Cara, had that luchador style, and
whereas
he could work well with some. He had a great match with Daniel Bryan. He had good matches with Chavo. But with others, it just wasn't clicking, and
that's part of if everyone did have their own style, like really, I mean, wrestling is like a hybrid, and even if you compare it to MMA, that's how it is now. But when MMA first started, everyone we had a boxer and a karate guy and a jiu-jitsu guy, like some styles didn't mesh as well.
Right.
And Shinsuke, in that way, he's a strong style guy. He's a Japanese guy. He has one style. He doesn't really like AJ wrestles. He can do ground stuff. He can do high flying stuff. He can do the striking. He can do all those things. I'm not saying Shinsuke can't, but he doesn't. That's not. He has like a style. So, and like you said, Lucha Libre, it's the same way. So, not all of those styles mesh with everybody. You have to work someone that can know how to work with that style. Yeah. And a lot of guys on SmackDown that he's been put with don't. There are guys that can. Sami Zayn can, AJ Styles can, Kevin Owens can.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even just, the quote-unquote internet darlings like the three names you just mentioned. He had good match with Rusev.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are good.
But then there's just...
Rusev has that... He's not the strong style, but, he has
Yes, but Rusev's not...
strong.
But Rusev isn't considered by this section of the wrestling fans to be one of those type of guys, and then... he had that great match with them. There are just certain guys, if the chemistry isn't there, he's not going to be able to rise above that. As great of a wrestler as Dolph Ziggler is, if the chemistry wasn't there, he wasn't able to rise up and make that thing, above average with Dolph. And maybe you should with a guy like Dolph, but then immediately after Dolph, they put him in there with Jinder Mahal, who, my opinion for what it's worth, just not really great at anything.
His really the only good matches he had were with Styles.
Yeah.
Who is a person that can have
and AJ is one of those guys
yeah.
that can have a good match with anybody. Shinsuke is not. And then they put Shinsuke in there, and, hey, it's a big match. It's for the title, But they put Shinsuke in there with Jinder, and he's not going to mesh well with Jinder. Mm-hmm. Now they're kind of, I feel, knock on wood, I have some wood right here, holding up the camera. They found how to cater to Nakamura's strengths, which is...
they knew how to do.
They knew how to do because they did it in NXT.
They did it in NXT, exactly. And which is weird that he did have such good matches with Bobby Roode, because I wouldn't consider Bobby Roode one of those guys that, adapts as well as AJ Styles, but he did. I mean, they had chemistry.
Maybe it was just a matter, maybe it's not even so much a matter of he needs to be in there with somebody who can adapt. And Bobby Roode did adapt. Ziggler and Jinder did not, and I had high hopes for Ziggler too. I am a Dolph Ziggler fan.
Yeah,
but
same.
Hopefully AJ, the bottom line, hopefully AJ's okay. Hopefully AJ can go. Hopefully AJ can get cleared. Rumor and innuendo states that he's taking the build up off. He's doing rehab. I hope he's able to make it, and honestly, I hope he's able to go afterwards, because I really hope AJ wins this one. I feel, and I know other people are going to disagree, I feel if Shinsuke wins, it's too much too soon, it's going to bite him in the ass. I feel if AJ wins, and then you continue to build AJ not only as a champion, but Shinsuke up as a contender by SummerSlam, by Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Shinsuke can get another shot, and then be ready to go.
Yeah, they have a lot of, I wouldn't call it ill will or bad will from the way that Shinsuke's been presented, but they have a lot of mediocre will to make up for, and they're doing it. But yeah, I would almost say that by WrestleMania, you wouldn't have converted all of those fans that didn't get it. And I'm not saying that in like a snobby, pretentious way. Didn't get it because if I wouldn't have watched NXT or any indie stuff, I wouldn't have got it. I would have thought he was overrated too, just based on if I would have said the things to me, a version of me that didn't know who Shinsuke was, I would have been like, yeah, he's okay. He's he's cool. I like his music.
Right.
He's got like charisma, but his matches are whatever. So they're doing it now, and I think that amazing match at WrestleMania will go a long way in doing that, and then keep them doing some cool stuff till SummerSlam, and maybe we get a 3. Who won the first match?
Well, it was Shinsuke won the match before they both left for the WWE at Wrestle Kingdom in 2016. So, AJ wins this one. Now, I will. If AJ can just go for one match, then you got no choice. You got to put that belt on Shinsuke.
Yeah.
You have no choice. But if AJ can continue to go, or they can continue to use AJ sparingly until he's ready to go at full strength again, keep building AJ up as the champ that runs the camp, on SmackDown until SummerSlam. Fantasy storytelling here, I'd have AJ win at WrestleMania, I'd have Shinsuke win Money in the Bank, and then instead of having him cash in a cheap Lego, I'm going to cash this in at SummerSlam.
We're going to hype it up as the rubber match. They've said New Japan on TV.
Yeah, and if you don't want to hype it up, if they don't want to continue to give New Japan publicity, because New Japan is emerging as a competitor right now. Mm-hmm. Maybe not like right on their level, but emerging as a competitive alternative to the WWE at this point. If you can just say like, well, here's the WrestleMania rematch of that classic match, then you have hype for SummerSlam, and then Shinsuke might be ready for that title, and then do whatever, you can put him in there with whoever, however long, boom, whole new set of things you can do.
Yeah.
Gonna move on from that topic and go to the other world title match that, speaking for me personally, I'm a little less excited for.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the understatement of the year, saying I'm less excited for this match. And that is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. And I'll give Roman Reigns some credit. He's been doing good promos.
Yeah.
I still don't like him. I'm not a hater to the point where I'm not gonna just completely shit on any and everything he does because I don't like him. And I wanted to like Roman Reigns so badly. I'm not trying to be like one of those internet guys and go like, well, I don't like Roman Reigns. I didn't want to dislike him, but they've made me dislike him.
I've never really not liked Roman Reigns. I liked Roman Reigns when he was in the Shield. I liked Roman Reigns right after. Did he get picked over people that I would have rather seen main event WrestleManias? Absolutely. But I've always liked his matches. Like, always liked his matches since he first came up. I think that he puts on pretty consistently good matches, and he just kind of just hasn't been. They've not really given me a reason to like him other than, putting on good matches and having cool entrance music that he stole from his friends.
Yeah,
like
he's just not. He needs to, and I've been saying this since the infamous Royal Rumble 2015. Roman Reigns has to go bad before he can turn good.
I don't know if that's true, though, because I feel like he's getting a lot better reactions now by doing this whole thing with Lesnar.
He's doing this whole... But, I mean, what's going to happen when he gets put into a storyline with somebody else, though? Is he going to keep getting those reactions when Samoa Joe comes back? Is he going to keep getting these positive reactions if he goes into a storyline with Finn Balor? Is he going to keep getting these reactions if he goes into a storyline with Rollins? Mm-hmm. What's going to happen then? What's going to happen when there's somebody else who's more popular than him? They've been doing a good job making it seem like, hey, Lesnar doesn't care about you, I do. But on the flip side, what's going to happen at WrestleMania? Are we going to...
I'm going to boo Brock Lesnar.
Well, you're one. What is
I booed Roman Reigns the last 2 years I went to WrestleMania, which is the only thing I ever do. It's not like I'm just a world traveler. Literally one time a year I go do something and it's WrestleMania the last 3 years. But I booed him against Triple H and I booed him very much against The Undertaker. But I'm going to cheer him against Lesnar.
What is the rest of the Superdome gonna think of Roman Reigns and think of Brock Lesnar?
I think he will have the best reaction that he has had since they had.
And then Vince McMahon's gonna go, see, everyone loves him.
Well, maybe he'll be right then. I mean, sometimes you can make corrective actions and win people over because his matches are good and his promos have been good and the storyline is good and it makes me kind of like him a little bit more. I don't have anything against him. I just wanted a reason to like him. He beat The Undertaker, who's my favorite of all time.
And then bragged about it.
Don't want to like you. He just hasn't done anything like heroic. He's not an underdog, so don't paint him as an underdog. So they tried to, which was a bad idea.
But I feel like he should have had the Rock moment, like when The Rock joined the Nation back, over 20 years ago, where it's like where he vents his frustration on the fans. He turns on them completely, and then lo and behold, by going bad, he can show more charisma because he other than when he's kind of shooting, gonna use that word, unfortunately this time, when he's not doing something like that on Lesnar, he doesn't cut a good guy promo very well, a good guy interview very well. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't. He could show that charisma. He could show that charisma that he had in NXT when he was bad. Mm-hmm. Bad guy, not bad in terms of his performance. And then, just like The Rock, that could turn people around. Similar to in Japan, I'm wearing my Los Ingobernables hat. Tetsuya Naito was force-fed on people, and then he got rejected, and then he turned his character around, as a bad guy, and now, my opinion, he's probably the most over and most cheered guy in New Japan right now, besides Okada.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like
And
Roman Reigns is just like that.
That's a valid point that when he goes up against someone that's not Lesnar. But I would have said that Lesnar would be someone that would be difficult for him to get cheered against because for whatever reason
People like
I don't dislike Lesnar, but as
as a
as
person.
a character, like I don't like I don't know why you would like him other than he's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But so they managed to do that.
You're scooting back pretty far there.
Other than, you know,
collectibles.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll be able to do it. Definitely don't put him against Finn Balor, because don't put him against another guy that people like.
That's the big question. Like,
they also don't have very many good bad guys on Raw. They have The Miz. Who else do they really even have for him to go against?
And, you know, it's funny you mentioned The Miz. It's one of those... This Intercontinental title... This really has me intrigued, because I feel like this could be a... You could go one of two ways with this. You could either have Miz as champion, and you could really start, even more so than it already is now, kind of think of Intercontinental title as Miz, Miz is the Intercontinental champion, and then really start to kind of maybe push the Miz. I mean, they already had the New Day break
Demolition. You want to move
Demolition.
on to just the Mania thing, since we're already talking about another match?
Yeah, we'll just do that. We're kind of reshuffle the format here a little bit, but you can
talking about WrestleMania card. We'll start with this match, just because.
Yes, well, you could either, back to what I was saying, you could really start Intercontinental Championship as Miz. Miz is the they're one, and then you could really start pushing him to breaking Honky Tonk Man's record. I feel. You've already had the New Day break Demolition's record. There might be some backstage and lawsuits and things that are contributing to that. That's not what we're going to talk about here today. But what you're starting to break these records and make these newer guys the holder of these. That might be a good thing to do with the Miz and the Intercontinental title. On the flip side, got Seth Rollins, you got Finn Balor going for it in a universal title scene, which, let's just be honest, is going to be dominated by Lesnar or Reigns. It's or Strowman. It's going to be a big, burly sports entertainment type of guy holding the universal title on Raw. You could also go old school and have that Intercontinental title be the damn fine workhorse belt, the damn fine technical belt.
When it was the Hearts.
The
Hearts.
You know, the heart and soul of the Raw brand, the show-stealing match will be for the Intercontinental title, in the spirit of your Steamboats, your Mr. Perfects, your Tito Santanas, your Bret Harts, your Shawn Michaels, even though, you know, Bret and Shawn were able to rise up, kind of in that same vein, to where, okay, if you're going to make the Universal title for these hosses, these big guys, these Vince McMahon type superstars, here's the wrestler belt, to where, and while doing that, elevate the importance of the Intercontinental title to where it is something that people should care about again. People want to be Intercontinental champion. People want to see the Intercontinental title like it was in that heyday. Then I feel the fans might be able to possibly tolerate a guy like Roman being on top for an extended period of time, because, yeah, they'll still kind of get theirs that they want in that Intercontinental title scene. They'll still be like, yeah, well, you know what? Roman's the champion, and yeah, he's going to be the main event, but you know what? I'm still going to buy this pay-per-view. I'm still going to watch this pay-per-view because Finn Balor's going to wrestle so-and-so. Seth Rollins is going to wrestle is going to wrestle this guy, and they're going to have a damn fine wrestling match, and they're going to go for 30 minutes, and it's going to steal the show, and it's for a belt that matters, not a little trinket like it's kind of been treated in the past, or a pretty little thing. You know, it's for something that matters almost as much as this World's Championship, and that could be the direction they go in. I'm okay with either one, and I'm not a Miz fan, but but the Miz in that role would also be very, very well done indeed. But how would people react to The Miz being champion and Roman Reigns for extended periods of time? Would that alienate a section of the audience that, for better or worse, in some people's mind, has been proven to be a good commodity with the rise of what we're seeing?
Yeah, I think that's like a good plan. I think that the Miz versus Reigns too. That would be if you just moved into that and then got it off of Miz though, and let it be the Finn Balor belt for a while. I think that match is going to be excellent either way. I'm very excited about that match. But this card, I'm just looking at the card here on the most reliable of all sites, Wikipedia.
Go there for everything.
Can't remember everything. Andre the Giant Battle Royal, Women's Battle Royal, whatever. Those are both.
Well, the Women's Battle Royal, I feel. Well, we'll just talk about. I feel like maybe an NXT lady should win that. Maybe don't bring her up to the main roster yet, but like Ember Moon winning that and being able to prove she can hang with main roster people, that'll be good for when she does get that call up. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about that. I
already said Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I want it to come down to Jeff and Matt, and then Bray Wyatt help Matt win. And then we get Jeff versus Matt.
See, this is my only. As much as I would like, I want these battle royals to help somebody. They haven't. They haven't done anything. We thought it was going to help Cesaro, and it didn't.
I mean, for a while.
For a minute, but it's whatever. Mm-hmm. But hopefully it's not just a guy like Mojo Rawley, and this is with no disrespect to Mojo Rawley. Hopefully it isn't just a Mojo Rawley type thing again this year.
Yeah. I mean, I did like the Revival's little deal on Raw where they said they were going to be the first tag team to win it and do, like, what? Due to the singles division, what Braun Strowman did to the tag division. I thought that was kind of funny.
But we'll segue into that right now. Yeah. They've revealed on Raw that Braun Strowman has to have a partner.
Which I was upset about. I wanted to just see
But, the speculation is...
Yeah, now it's fun.
Who's it going to be? Who's Braun Strowman's partner? I mean, there's not a doubt in my mind that Braun Strowman and whoever...
are going to win.
You know what I actually thought would be if they... I mean, I know he's released, but you know who I think would be a good partner? Just kind of as some irony, but maybe it would be a good way to revitalize his career if they could re-sign James Ellsworth.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. That would be pretty perfect.
To be Braun Strowman's partner and win the titles, because it was Braun Strowman that started James Ellsworth. Mm-hmm. Bring him back, and then now they're tag team champions together. And James Ellsworth could have maybe had more of a future in the WWE had they kind of given a step back to him, put him on NXT, kind of changed him up, and not just essentially made him Carmella's K-Fed. But, well, we won't tangent. I feel if he would have went to NXT and developed a different character, James Ellsworth could have been something.
Maybe. I don't know. James Ellsworth is still James Ellsworth, but
he's still, yeah. I'm not saying he could have been huge. I'm just saying he could have been fun. He could have been more than just the guy, the loser who somehow made his way to a WWE title match, and they drug that out too long. But
yeah, but that would be fun if that was Braun's partner. I don't know who the heck it's gonna be. I know everyone's saying Elias, which doesn't make any sense at all. But no. I wouldn't be surprised because he doesn't have a match. I don't know. I am intrigued to know. I think that it's. I like storylines like that.
Yeah.
Just little mysteries. I really don't know who it will be, though. Other than James.
Or anyone, for that matter.
But the Women's Battle Royal, like you said, the NXT person winning it, that would be cool.
Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon.
Yeah, Shayna Baszler would be a nice touch. I don't know if that's going to be the big payoff moment with Sasha and Bayley or what, but I do appreciate that they at least have some storylines going.
They have multiple women's storylines going on.
This is what I like about this card. Other than this card just having a lot of matches that are going to be good, they've all been built better than, like, I can remember a WrestleMania card being built from top to bottom. Because you have your undercard matches and your midcard matches and your main event matches have all been built at least a little bit. We've had a lot of times in the past where they just kind of just whatever. And they've been interesting for the most part. So,
Right.
on that note, the next one on here is the Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey versus Triple H, Stephanie McMahon match.
It is what it is. It's going to be a good. I'm not expecting anything, earth shattering with this match. Obviously, they're doing this match to probably protect Rousey a little more.
Yeah, because I don't know how experienced she is.
Give her more time to turn into a pro wrestler, but still have that name value. Because Ronda Rousey still has some name recognition. People still know Ronda Rousey, and then you put her on Good Morning America. You put her on all these shows.
People that don't know anything about wrestling. The people I was talking about before were like, "Oh, Ronda Rousey."
Yeah. There's the same thing. Like where I work, they're telling me, what do you think about Ronda Rousey? What's she doing in wrestling now? And they're kind of thinking, they're still kind of have their non-wrestling fan. Oh, just proves her career's over. She's going to the fake shit, but whatever. It's still
but also kind of true. But
she's gonna make more money doing the quote unquote fake shit than she probably would ever make in the UFC. I mean, look at Lesnar.
Yeah, but I think I'm just excited to hear the reactions in that match and be there in the building for A, Triple H and Stephanie getting booed so hard, and then B, hearing Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey's reactions. I think those will be some of the top ones of the night. Then we got Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali, which I hope is on the main actual card.
Yes, I hope that doesn't get bumped.
205 Live has been
outstanding.
Amazing. The best wrestling show on television as far as pure matches go. I wanted Drew Gulak.
Yeah, I really wanted.
I like Mustafa Ali's awesome. I can't deny that.
I can honestly tell you, my first exposure to Mustafa Ali was I didn't really follow it with much passion, but I was aware of it. I had some IWA Mid-South DVDs that I would just pick up at random independent wrestling shows, and I saw Mustafa Ali on there, and I kind of thought it was for a local independent wrestling group, especially a hardcore federation like IWA Mid-South, having a character like Mustafa Ali was odd to me. But whenever I watched him, I honestly never, ever, ever in my wildest dreams thought that he would be at WrestleMania. And that's not a knock on his ability. That's just
how
things have changed. That's cool. I really hope Cedric wins. I feel like Cedric, ever since the Cruiserweight Classic moment with
the chance to get him a job.
Yeah, that I really feel like he's needed a moment, and he's never had the championship yet. So, what better way to do it than right here?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of
outstanding.
I'm hoping for Cedric Alexander win here.
So that's another course correction, like I was talking about earlier. Sometimes they can, and they have with 205 Live, because that show. I didn't watch it for a long time. I watched it at first, and then I was like, man, this is none of these. I didn't understand how you could have so many good wrestlers and so many mediocre matches. They just. I don't know what they did, but they let him go. That's how it should have been. It should have just been a continuation of the classic.
Absolutely.
Classic. I like the presentation of that. Here's this guy, here's his style, here's his background. I like when they do that, like we talked about earlier with Shinsuke having a style. I like when they present things as this is a martial artist guy, this is a high flyer guy, this is a Japanese striker, this is a luchador. That's cool.
Here's a technical wrestler.
Yeah, here's a technical wrestler. That's. I don't know why they don't do that more. And they've been doing that. They haven't been necessarily as heavy as they were in the Cruiserweight Classic, but that's definitely been, the gist of 205 Live lately. So, good on them for that, and that match is going to be awesome.
So, anything we haven't talked about?
We talked about the main events, talked about Triple Threat. The United States match, Bobby Roode, Orton.
Hey, you know what? It's where Randy Orton needs to be. It's where Jinder Mahal should have been, and Bobby Roode's on the card. So, not really much to say there. It's a good way to get 3 guys on the card. Bobby Roode needs to go bad. He needs to go bad yesterday.
Well, I thought he did when he first lost, but then he hasn't since then.
Yeah, Bobby Roode needs to be like the way he was in NXT, because him as a good guy is just. I get that he's got that theme song, and they want people. They feel like people that won't be as over if he were a bad guy, but Bobby Roode needs to be bad, and that's pretty much all there is to say about it. Got the match on the card. You got 3 people who are stars, whether I'm a big fan. I mean, with the exception of Roode, even though I'm not a big fan of either one of those other gentlemen,
deserving a spot.
They need to be on the card. Yeah, I'll give them that. This isn't universe mode where I can just like on 2K18 where I can just phase both Orton and Jinder out. You know, like I have. You got to put them on. So that's all I got to say about that.
The match with Shane and Daniel Bryan isn't confirmed, but I'm assuming that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's got to. I guess they canceled the Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens match because they were both fired on SmackDown. Yeah.
And then you got the 2 women's matches. Asuka versus Charlotte Flair is going to be a great
Asuka's got to win that one.
For sure.
Asuka has to win that one.
I mean, I don't watch the mixed match challenge stuff. I'm assuming that she's won all of her matches.
I haven't watched that yet. I mean, this is us failing as wrestling fans.
I don't think anyone's watching the mixed match challenges though.
So, but
she's like a true undefeated. She hasn't lost like tag matches. Isn't like.
I think she got eliminated from a battle royal. I think that was it.
Yeah. So keep
it alive. I mean, this is only pure speculation. We can talk more about this in detail later. I feel that Ronda Rousey keeps improving, or just keeps learning how to wrestle, I guess I should say, and keeps the hype up. Asuka stays undefeated with this championship. It would not be inconceivable for Rousey Asuka to main event WrestleMania. Actually be the last match on the card at WrestleMania next year.
If women are going to do it, I would say it's those 2.
And I feel like
with Asuka, have both of them be undefeated to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you know,
this big collision course, and you've got the drawing power and the name recognition of Ronda Rousey, and then hype up this person who has been in the at that point WWE for what, 3 years, 4 years by next year, and never lost a match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be such a collision course that would be worthy of a WrestleMania main event and the first women's match to truly be the main event at a WrestleMania.
Or Charlotte Flair beats her at WrestleMania.
Yeah, or they'll just have Charlotte in the streak and at WrestleMania and go, "There's your moment, kids. Have fun."
This is the makeup for losing your pay-per-view winning streak at random a couple years ago.
Right.
Sorry, Charlotte.
Yeah. And then Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss.
Build-up has been good.
Build-up's been good. It's Nia's time.
Straddling that line between offensive and not offensive.
I believe it's Nia's time. I believe, since Karma / Kong never really got her start there, and I know that Nia is a completely different character than.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that they're both
horses.
A little bit.
Hoss-ass is.
Trying to be diplomatic here, just like a little bit more bigger female wrestlers out there. I feel that Nia would be a good champion, at least for now, and I feel well deserving of a run. She's never really had her due. Mm-hmm. I feel on NXT or on the main roster. She's always just kind of been
because of Asuka.
Well, there was Asuka in NXT, but then like on the main roster, she was always just like an enforcer, a brute, and I feel she'd be a good women's champion. So I really hope Nia wins that one.
Same. I think that. And I mean, that match will be decent. So I'm not expecting that to be. That'll probably be like, of all those matches I named, it'll probably be the worst one on the card, but it's still going to be good.
It's not going to be as good as the Asuka match, but that's no disrespect to Nia and Bliss.
But that card, just how many matches is that without the Daniel Bryan one? That's it's going to be probably 12 once we get that tag match on there. The show's going to be freaking
7 hours long.
7 hours long, yeah. I'm not even going to have time to tailgate because I'm going to have to get up at 7 a.m. to get there on time. Like, I can't think of a better card. A better card, better build, better, like, potential matches in a long time. Like
WrestleMania 19, maybe?
Maybe.
30?
That's been a long
30.
time ago.
Well, 30 was really well. I mean, it was kind of...
Yeah, but I would not say this compares to 30 as far as at least potential quality. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe it will suck. I don't know. I hope not. I doubt it.
Well, we'll talk about something that doesn't suck right now, and that was the New Japan Cup. Nick over here, maybe not as familiar with New Japan. I have a subscription to New Japan World.
I watch it on Access after it gets Jim Rossified.
Well, I'm never going to complain about Jim Ross, but very, very tremendous tournament. Zack Sabre Jr., the winner of the whole tournament, and he looked like a fucking superstar in this whole tournament. He started out with wrestling Tetsuya Naito, tapped him out. Mm-hmm. He then went on to wrestle Kota Ibushi, a battle of the two Cruiserweight Classic individuals who did not sign with the WWE, and honestly, good move on both their parts.
Yeah.
Tapped out Kota Ibushi, wrestled another Los Ingobernables de Japón member, Sanada, tapped him out, and then in the finals... But before we get into the finals, I also have to point out there was a tremendous match in the semis between Hiroshi Tanahashi and Juice Robinson.
He's been steadily improving.
Juice Robinson has been tremendous since leaving NXT. He just kind of... maybe he'll go back to NXT and be used to his potential, like possibly how they're doing with EC3.
Yeah, eventually.
But right now, Juice is really building himself up, and his story has been in New Japan's been done so very, very well. He pinned Kenny Omega in the G1, in which in New Japan, you don't just get a random willy-nilly title shot. You got to win a tournament, or New Japan's built off of tag matches and 6-mans and 8-mans and 10-mans, and if you can get a win over a champion in one of those matches, that's how you get a shot. He in the G1 Climax tournament, round robin tournament, he pinned Kenny Omega and then got a shot at Kenny Omega's United States Championship, IWGP United States Championship. Came up short. He came up short in a gauntlet for the 6-man tag team championships. He's always, he gets that shot and then falls. And he gets that shot and then falls. So like the fans are just, and then he had that shot to go to the finals of the New Japan Cup, and just Tanahashi, the ace, you really look at him, he's the John Cena of New Japan.
Yeah.
Came up short, but had just a damn impressive performance. And then the next night, he pinned Hiroki Goto, the never openweight champion. So he's got a shot again. He's got another shot for a championship. The fans are really fiending to see Juice Robinson get his hand on a championship in New Japan right now.
I think he probably will. The IC of the United States.
There's or the never open weight, which that's a belt that's kind of hard to explain, and I really don't. Even as a fan, I don't quite understand the point of it. Like I get that, like it has good matches, so I'm not going to say like it's a nothing title, because it's had good matches for it, but it's just kind of like,
why is this here?
Why is this here? Why isn't it called something else? Because there's a whole backstory that even I don't completely understand with it. But the bottom line is, Juice Robinson, if Zack Sabre Jr., the winner, was the MVP, Juice is probably like, maybe an honorable mention number 2 in the tournament. No question in my mind, especially with that match with Tanahashi. But
I'm glad to see Zack Sabre Jr. hitting it this big, because I've liked him for a long time, since the early Evolve days.
Right.
That was the first time I remember seeing him, was in the single-digit Evolve pay-per-views, I think. And, yeah, I was just like, dang, that guy's so good.
Yeah, he is. And he doesn't tap out, but there's a ref stoppage in the finals with Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. And if you win the New Japan Cup, you can challenge for any New Japan Singles Heavyweight Championship that you would like. And he obviously chose Okada. Gonna be a great match. I'm kind of, on a personal level, I don't dislike Okada, but I feel like other people are better, and I'm kind of tired of him as champion. But with the way New Japan works, Okada ain't losing that belt anytime within the next year or two. He's going to be champion. There's a hashtag Okada forever. That might be true. And I don't say that sarcastically. Okada might hold the belt for the next 5-10 years until Okada gets hurt. That may not be a stretch. You never know. But I'm excited to see the match. I'm excited that Zack Sabre Jr. got an accomplishment. I'm excited that Zack Sabre Jr. is getting a shot at the IWGP Championship. Mm-hmm. Being realistic, I don't see Zack Sabre Jr. winning this, but I'll shit solid gold if he does. But I am looking forward to the match. That will be, I want to say, next Sunday.
Okay.
They're in the New Japan's in California tomorrow, as of the date of this recording. Tomorrow being, and then they go back to Japan, and we will have the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. Kazuchika Okada, the champion, representing Chaos, versus Zack Sabre Jr., the challenger, representing Suzuki-gun. And big New Japan show from California this weekend. Golden Lovers, Ibushi and Omega versus the Young Bucks. That'll be a fun match. And then Jay White versus Hangman Page for the IWGP United States Championship. That's the opposite thing. I think that Hangman might win that belt tomorrow night. So that'd be really cool if he did. He's not a full-time, at least like Jay White, not a full-time New Japan roster member, so maybe he won't. But be really good, especially with this Bullet Club implosion storyline that we're going through right now. It'd be a nice little wrinkle in that to have Hangman Page take back the belt into the group that Omega lost.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Bullet Club, going to wrap the show up with some big announcements for All In. For those that don't know, All In is the independently funded Bullet Club show that will be in Chicago, an attempt to be the first show since outside the WWE since WCW to sell out a 10,000-seat arena. Mm-hmm. They've announced, and it's just literally slipped my mind right now. I know Pentagon, but who is the other? And Phoenix, yes. Mm-hmm. Apologize for that one there, but they have had two major lucha stars announced for the All-In event, in addition to the core members of the Elite, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, Marty Scurll, Kenny Omega, Cody, and actor Stephen Amell also will be making an appearance there. It's gonna be something that me and Nick here are gonna try to attempt to go to. I shouldn't say try. I mean we're gonna go.
Yeah,
we're going.
It's in our state at least,
Yeah,
still like 4 hours away, but that's the thing. The big question.
We live in parts unknown, though.
Yeah, the big question of is it gonna actually hit the 10,000? We've talked about this before, but it'll be difficult, but I think that it can be done.
I think it depends on who they bring in. You can't make this. This is where it's going to be kind of like, what do you do? Because
Super Card of Honor, if they just make it that, like, it's not going to be
right
10,000 people.
But it's like, how do you balance out getting, like, some names that the casual audience might know? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like if they can get the rumored appearance from, excuse me, broaching again, from CM Punk, then it will work. Or at least
CM Punk will draw 10,000 people. If they can get CM Punk, I think it's
maybe not necessarily to wrestle, but just as an appearance. But it's kind of like for the rest of your card.
Especially if
what
you
do you
wrestle,
do?
Though, then it's a done deal.
Do you bring in more international talent? Do you bring in Okada? Do you bring in Suzuki? Do you bring in Naito? Do you bring in
I think they really need Carlito and Chris Masters. And probably be the two biggest names.
Well, I mean, sarcasm aside, do you need to bring in guys that a casual audience know, like a Carlito, Chris Masters? Or like a Rob Van Dam, if he hasn't been signed back to the WWE at this point? Did you bring in Rey Mysterio? How many just big names that are in the WWE right now do you bring in? How many international...
They have all of the big American indie guys are going to be there, we can assume.
Yeah. How many Japanese guys do you bring in? What matches do you put on? You don't have the luxury for this show of having TV. This isn't a promotion, it's a one-off show. You don't have the luxury of a promotion behind it. Hey, here's what's been building up in Ring of Honor. Hey, here's what's been building up in New Japan. Here's what's been building up in CMLL. Here's what's been building up in RPW. It's not one of those. It's an independently funded show, so it's like, do you go with dream matches? Do you go with nostalgia acts? Do you go with
All of the above, I think.
How do you do the balance? I personally, I don't think it would draw 10,000, but I do feel it would get a lot of people traveling to get you maybe halfway there. And I doubt they'll do it because it's probably very political if this match doesn't happen again outside of a New Japan ring. I think they need to do Okada Omega.
Yeah.
This mythical match that happened 3 times and, broke the Meltzer rating scale and is supposedly, in some people's minds, the best wrestling match that ever happened.
Still in need of a rubber match. It's been a draw and a win and a win.
Yeah, it's still in need of a rubber match, Put it on U.S. soil. Well, I mean, this is going to be after the G1, so I don't know if they're going to have a match in the G1 or not.
Yeah.
But here's this match on U.S. soil, It may be hard for you to fly to Japan to see this match if you live in New York or Canada or Florida or Texas or California or anywhere else. It'd be hard to go to Japan to see it, but might be a little easier for you to go to Chicago and see it.
Yeah.
How do you balance the independent guys? How many names do you bring in? How many international guys do you bring in? Because there's been not like super, but like super cards with so many former WWE guys that haven't even come close to 10,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what's the formula?
They just gotta. I don't know how you do it, but you just gotta find that balance, because we tried to do one of these, and I tried to talk about this last time, but we live in a world of pop culture where a 19-year-old kid from Florida can have more listens and sales on a song than Katy Perry, who has multi-million-dollar budget behind all of her stuff. So like, if we live in a world where SoundCloud rappers who have no publicity can blow up bigger than people who are established names, that's essentially what the Bullet Club is. They're SoundCloud rappers of professional wrestling, and they've blown up and they got their shit in malls, and they have big numbers on the internet and YouTube and all this stuff, and they are making a lot of money doing it. So if they can find a way to just to hit that mark and make this huge, which I do think that CM Punk would be about the only way. But this could be really big for independent wrestling to make it something more mainstream, because like mainstream isn't really mainstream anymore. WWE isn't really mainstream as far as pop culture. It's a niche, and this is a niche of a niche.
It's part of the reason why I justify when I started my Facebook page and this channel. People ask me, well, why are you talking about wrestling with your comic books? It's like, well, to me, wrestling is as much geek culture as comic books, anime, and video games now. It's pop culture. Pop culture. Geek culture is pop culture. Pop culture is geek culture. It may not be Kardashians and Kanye and, those kind of things, but that's what people are interested in now is,
And it doesn't matter if you're mainstream. It doesn't matter if you have millions and millions of dollars pumped behind you to pump something up to be a big hit. You don't need that to make money and to be successful. And I think that's what gives me hope that it can happen. And the fact that the Ring of Honor show for WrestleMania weekend is going to be the biggest Ring of Honor show of all time, and things are clearly like on the rise. So if they can bottle that momentum and continue that success, I think that it is possible, especially to your audience, because this is also a time where you just speak directly to your audience now. You say, hey, we want 10,000 people to come to this, so come to this, basically. Like, please come to this to show people that we can do it. And I think that there's all the pieces are there.
It's a movement.
Yeah, all the pieces are there for it to happen. And if it's possible for it to happen, it will, I think.
I sure hope so, because I just... And WWE is going to try some petty bullshit. They're probably going to run... They're going to run a pay-per-view. They're going to run a big... They'll have Daniel Bryan wrestle Shinsuke Nakamura across the street in a big arena, and they'll take people around with that. They'll have something big, similar to like what they did with they did an NXT house show like across the street from a Ring of Honor show. They did something with Kenny Omega and Stephen Amell there. So you never know what's going to happen, but All In is the culmination of a movement to get more eyeballs on wrestling other than the WWE. And that's not saying the WWE wrestling is bad. It's just saying there's more out there, and I really hope to be part of it, and I really hope it's successful. I think anything else you want to add? I think we're gonna say goodbye and then hope this live feed stays on YouTube. We never know what's gonna happen as far as this goes. So hopefully we didn't just waste this time.
And they probably won't be as long from here on out because this is super long.
Yeah, this was a long one, but we went in depth on a lot of things. This might be the only time we get to talk really in depth about WrestleMania because we will not get to do this before you leave. So hope and pray that this stays on YouTube. I hope and pray you enjoy it. And to sign off, let me know your opinions down in the comments. We will reply to any and all opinions on the content. Any helpful hints or constructive criticism, or if you just want to talk wrestling, leave a comment down there below. Like, dislike, share, and follow him on Twitter at fake. What is it?
_ Nick.
Fake _ Nick P. Follow. Or don't.
I don't really get on there very much.
I don't get on Twitter much either, but if you want to, follow me on Twitter at athleticgeek _89. Like the Facebook page, it's updated almost daily with blogs, reviews on not just wrestling, but everything around geek culture. Comic books, anime, wrestling, video games, you name it, it's there. Movie reviews, TV reviews, so go like the Facebook page, and we're out.